How's it going, guys? Roddy Walker here with another tutorial. Today we're going to go over color grading. I want to apologize for last video. I used a plugin, and the reason why I'm apologizing is because the video wasn't really that great because I wasn't at the level of color grading that I am at now. I'm not saying I'm a pro colorist or anything like that, but it's like I have definitely got some rhythm for using this, and I definitely have gotten used to it. So I just want to show you guys my looks real quick. I'll go ahead and put the color back on the effects that I had on this one. So I'll click on the clip. I'll go ahead and take it off. I'll go ahead and enable these effects again. So there's one color right there. There's one color correction I did. And if you like that, all I basically was using was levels and lumetri. And there's still a lot of room for color correction. Honestly, you look at that too, like I can even adjust the white balance and the temperature right now, even change it, give it an even more kind of like a cinematic look that I was going for as well. So I mean, even that right there looks great. So I mean, if you're kind of wondering how I got this, how I kind of start off is I'll start off by going to grab and get the levels. I'll pop levels on there. Once you get levels on there, you're gonna want to look at the 3 RGB or 4, I think it's 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, don't pay attention to gamma or anything below here because it starts going into reds, greens, all that. I only mess with the blacks and whites, which is these 4 right here. Now let's just say we reset this one. It's at 72. Starts off at 0, so you can see how flat the image is. When you turn up these, or when you turn up these black levels, you start getting all that black back. So I brought it all the way up to 72 because that's where I really liked where the blacks ended. But it's really personal preference. I think it makes the image look clean as an overall. I don't think you're losing any color with that. Now the white levels, I didn't really see, let's see if we reset it. See, it's how it doesn't change. I kept it really the same. You do this, you're boosting the whites. You're boosting the whites. So if you want to boost the whites, you can, but I was thinking it looked pretty good where it was at. I mean, maybe if I did boost it, I'd do something like that maybe. That gives me a cool look right there too. So maybe just boost it up a little bit if you want that sky to really pop out. So yeah, and it's like, it's okay to change things like I'm doing because it's like I'm noticing how I can make my footage better. Like I'm adapting to my footage. It's foolish to set something with a preset and just think it's done. Get into your footage, keep digging into it till you find looks that you like. Now I might just go on to my next clip right now. Oh, but before I do that, I just want to show you the lumetri color. Because what I did with this one is I just went all the way down to the color wheel, and I basically added some orange, a little bit of red, put it right there, and you can see I'm getting all those colors in the mids and in his skin tone as well. So it's keeps that kind of tan look, so you can get, because that's in the sand, it's also part of his skin. Anything that's kind of mid in the shot, so any color like that, that's making the greens kind of a more tanner green. So the mids controls anything that's kind of mid color in the shot. The shadows, I'm adding a bit of blue to that, and that just gives me more of a kind of serious look, like a movie kind of look. And then my highlights, they're not crazy blasted up, but they still look great because of the exposure I had during the shot. So I got that. And I'm putting kind of a greenish blue look in them. It's giving me this really cool greenish blue sky, but mainly looking blue. So it's I just kind of tweaked it to that to get to that point. And then I just put the saturation at 88. I liked where it was at. You can kind of see that's gonna add more serious. I mean, you could keep it on like where it starts at like 100, I believe, but it's like once you start taking it down a little bit, you can get some serious looks. Like, so I mean, here's it at 100. You're not losing any color, but it's like I don't like my skin all the way saturated like that. Some people might go with this color correction because you got the most color and you're still in a good position with skin and everything. But me, I like to shorten it down to around 88, maybe so, because it kind of evens out my skin a little bit better. And see, now my skin looks a lot better, and his skin looks pretty good too. So I mean, and we're getting good color, but we're not. It's not crazy. It's more tinted, I should say. Yeah. So there's the first clip. Boom. Let's go to the second clip right here. This is a short film clip we shot, and basically it's just this old man. He's a villain, bad guy, whatever. Kind of wanted to make it look kind of badass and stuff, so I'll kind of show you the effects I kind of clipped on there. Now I did shoot this with a filter on an accident, blue, and it really made, obviously this is the flat image, this is what it looked like shooting off the camera, no effect. So boom, when I put the levels on it, boom, I immediately made it darker, made it look like he's outside, nighttime. I made a little bit of highlight right here because he has this he's kind of in the shadow, but there's a little bit of light coming on his head, so I thought that kind of looked cinematic, so I did that. So I kept the black levels right there. It is an outdoor shot, so it's at 30, so 0. You don't have to crank it all the way up as if it was at a day shot like this. You can just keep it right at 30 and you'll probably be fine, depending on what kind of clip you're going for. Let's see. So let's see. And the reason I keep it right there is because it's still outside. Like, I still want it to look dark, you know, but I still want it to be able to see his face. It's gonna have that blue tint in it until I do something to it, because I don't want to color correct it while it has that blue tint, because that's a filter. So boom, I'll open up Lumetri real quick. And what I did, you'll look at the temperature, it's not 100, it's at 120. Started out at 0 actually, and went to 120. So I'll undo that. I put it on 120, gave me a lot of color back in his face, a lot of more colors in the back. I wouldn't say it's like a perfect shot, but definitely does look cinematic. I turned those highlights down a little bit, and kind of made them a little orangey too, because those highlights were super bright. Turned up the mid-tones a little bit, got a little bit of color in his face. And then the shadows, I crushed those down a little bit, so now his jacket's all black and stuff. And you can see I kind of made that blue. One thing I'm noticing though, so this is what I'm saying, you can always tweak things. I feel like I've made this shot a little too blue. And it's okay because it's a night shot. So I mean, you can have blue, but it's like the problem with making it too blue is you didn't really focus on his skin. I didn't focus on his skin as much. So now I'm gonna have to figure out how am I going to get back to where I was at with that. So this looks like a mess right now, but let me see if I can fix this. So I'm gonna try to find, something that compensates his skin, and maybe see if I can feed the blues back in another way. See, look at that. The shadows is where all the color's at. So that's where I'm focusing my blues at. That's where I'm gonna keep them at. And it's okay to start getting exaggerated as long as it still looks good. You know what I mean? Like, just you can make it intense, because now I have that color in his skin, so it matches the shot a little bit better. It's like you can still get these intense blue looks if you're trying. So I am trying, but at the same time I want to keep that. So that looks pretty good. Another thing is, I think the mids can maybe go more. Where can I put? Up or down? Maybe more down to the side. Trying to stay clear of. Trying to find like a happy medium, because I can always add a little bit more saturation. See if I add a little. Or maybe take a little bit off. Who knows? I'm just trying to get that look. Okay, so sorry I was so quiet. I was just really kind of trying to focus. I do that sometimes. I think that looks pretty good, because it's like the dark, it kind of gives me like a green tint. His skin doesn't look bad, you know, and that was my goal, trying to keep the skin like still kind of like looking somewhat good, but he's in the shadow, so his skin's not going to look perfect regardless, but it still looks like a dark scene. Let's just keep moving. Next shot, this is a wedding night shot. This is a great shot because it's really flat. Gives me a lot of room to work with. So I'll go ahead and click on that. First thing we'll check out is the levels. You can see I adjusted it quite a bit. This is why if you have cameras that can shoot and log, boom, look at that. If you don't have cameras that can shoot and log, you can usually just skip to Lumetri. But you still want to use levels to kind of get back to flatness instead of coming from flatness. You're going to be trying to make your image flat again, taking colors out of it so you can color grade. It's like the opposite. I've done it before. And then you desaturate a little bit too. But either ways, log gives you more room to work with the colors. I like this look. His face and her face right now I feel are kind of a little red is what I'm kind of noticing. So I'm kind of wondering, is there something I can do about this to make it just a tad bit more. Let's look at this again. I want to get those colors. Maybe we'll turn this down a little bit too. But yeah, let's boom, look at that, voila. Now you got that blue kind of serious look. Maybe just come up just a tad, or come back just a tad, give it a little green. Boom. Looks pretty cool, huh? Well, that's just kind of my style. I'm a more movie guy, so cinematic. Last shot we're gonna look at right here is this flower. These were the level settings involved with that. Oh shoot, hold on, let me click on that. Okay. So let's go to levels. Boom. So right off the bat, levels gives me so much color back, you know, like once I actually mess with the blacks, I turn it all the way up. I might actually just uncrush these blacks just a tad bit like that, just because I want just a tad bit more color, like when I show you how I graded. So that's how that looks. Boom. Look how contrasted that looks. So bang, like I went down here, I messed with the midtones, I lowered these down a little bit, I hired the blacks a little bit because I wanted this green to show better. One thing I'm already kind of noticing is I feel like I'm missing a little bit of green that I want in my mids. So, but I'm trying to keep that orange, so I'm trying to find like a happy medium. So I'm just gonna kind of mess around with the color wheel till I find something. That looks pretty good, you know. Like that looks pretty contrasted. And then maybe I can adjust. Gotta look the fly right there. Okay, yeah, that looks great. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I'm happy with the shot now. The shot looks pretty freaking like vibrancy. So we'll just look at this clip. Yeah, that looks great. So let's just take a look at all these shots together, and we could kind of see like I said, I'm no teacher or anything like that, you know. I just kind of want to show you guys what I do, and you know, this is my how-to video. And if you like what I did, go ahead and take tips and pieces, but you got to get in there and you got to kind of mess around with it. Start looking at the looks that you like, that you want. That is what I want. That is what I think people are going to like, because I like it. It's cinematic-y. It's clear. It looks good. It's 4K too. But either way, you see those shots, bam, and you see where all of them came from. Let's just say, boom, I highlight all these, and I say, like, fuck it, I don't want to live another day. So I'm going to remove all attributes, and boom. This is where it came from. That's what you gotta understand. This is what it looked like when I shot it. So I mean, like, when you go out and shoot, you gotta take that into account, because that's going to be a big factor of what your footage is gonna look like. So if you need to overexpose a little bit in log footage, that's okay sometimes, because you're gonna get to bring all those colors back in color correction. Thanks for watching this video, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll put another video up as soon as we can. R&D, we are out of here.